Have you ever wondered why you can't have everything you want? It sounds like a pretty simple question, right? But it's actually the single most important question in all of economics. So today, we're going to break down the core ideas that really shape our world, all of which are built to solve this one single, powerful problem.
Okay, let's dive right in. See, at its heart, economics isn't really about money or the stock market. Nope, it's about a basic, unchangeable conflict that every single one of us and every single society has to deal with. So let's just start right there. We all have a list, Things we'd like to have, things we'd like to do, a better car, more holidays, the latest phone. So why can't we just get it all? Well, the answer is a single, incredibly powerful concept that everything else is built on. And that concept is scarcity. Now, scarcity isn't just about things being rare. It's a fundamental mismatch. Our wants are basically infinite, but the stuff we have to get those wants, our time, our money, raw materials, all of that is limited. And this isn't some kind of personal failing. It's just the way the world works. It's the one condition that forces all of us to make choices.
Right, and every single time we make a choice, there's a hidden cost. And I'm not just talking about the price tag. Let's take a look at how this whole scarcity thing forces us to make these really tough and often invisible trade-offs.
Okay, so let's make this real. Imagine someone just hands you $100. Awesome. The first most obvious thing to do is to spend it right now on something you want. A great meal, a new video game, whatever. But there's always an alternative, isn't there? You could take that same $100 and stick it in a bank. And let's say in a year, thanks to interest, it turns into $105. So think about it. But choosing to spend it now, you are also choosing not to have that $105 later.
And this brings us to the crucial idea. The real cost of spending that $100 wasn't the $100 itself. It was the $5 in interest you gave up. That is the opportunity cost. It's the value of the next best thing you didn't do. And it is the true cost of any decision you ever make, whether it's about your money, your time, or your career.
Okay, so that's how opportunity cost works for you and me. But believe it or not, this same logic works on a massive scale for an entire country. So how does a whole nation deal with its limits? Well, economists have a really cool model for showing us exactly that. Let's just imagine a super simple economy that only makes two things: robots and corn. This little chart shows the trade-offs. If it uses everything it has to make robots, it can churn out 100 of them. But that means 0 corn. Or it could go all in on corn, getting 50 tons, but then it gets 0 robots. Or, of course, it can pick any of the combinations in between.
Now, when we take those numbers from the table and plot them on a graph, we get this curve. This is called the Production Possibilities Curve, or PPC. And what it represents is the absolute maximum this little economy can produce with what it has. You can think of it like a map of its limits.
So what does it mean to be right on that line? Well, any point right on the curve means the economy is running perfectly. There is 0 waste. Every worker has a job, every factory is running, every piece of land is being used. This is what economists call productive efficiency. It's the sweet spot.
But what if the economy is chugging along at a point inside the curve? That means it's being inefficient. A perfect example of this is a recession. You've got unemployed workers, you've got factories sitting empty. The resources are all there, they just aren't being used. The country is producing way less than it could be. So we know that being on the curve is the goal. But where on the curve should a society be? Should we make more robots or more corn? How do we all decide that together? Well, for a lot of places, the answer is the market. A market isn't always a physical place you can go to. At its core, it's just what happens when buyers and sellers come together to do business. You can think of it as this giant, decentralized decision-making machine, and it works because of two powerful opposing forces. First up, you've got demand. This line, that's us, the buyers. And it slopes down for a pretty simple reason. The cheaper something is, the more of it we're probably willing to buy. Makes sense, right? The other side of that coin is supply. This line represents the sellers, the producers, and it slopes up for the opposite reason. The higher the price they can sell something for, the more of it they're willing to make and put out there. So what happens when you put these two forces together? Well, when you lay both curves on the same graph, they cross at one single point. This is called the equilibrium, and this is where the magic of the market happens. It's the one price where the amount buyers want to buy is exactly the same as the amount sellers want to sell. And just like that, the market has decided what to produce. But using markets is just one way to solve that fundamental problem of scarcity.
Throughout history, societies have come up with different blueprints for how to manage all their limited resources.
If you zoom out, you can basically see two major approaches. On one side, you have the market economy. This is all driven by the individual decisions of millions of people and companies, all acting in their own self-interest. On the other side, you have the command economy. This is where a central authority, usually the government, makes the big calls about what gets made and who gets it. They're just two very different strategies for tackling the exact same problem, scarcity.
And this brings us right back to the beginning. If every single choice has an opportunity cost, then choosing an entire economic system must have a massive one too. You see, a system that focuses on individual freedom might give up some social safety nets, and a system that focuses on total equality might lose out on some innovation. So the final question isn't really about which system is right. It's about what we're willing to give up. What's the opportunity cost of the world we choose to build?